Dangerous Dr. Dietz is setting up a sophisticated soiree and he wants a special sausage. Well, what could be more special than a sausage made from a deer you got yourself? So today I'm making this wild venison sausage full of festive flavors that everyone's gonna love. So let's get started. The venison is exceptionally lean, so I'm going to need to add in a lot of fat to this recipe. And I've been saving up my fat scraps, but to make up the difference, I'll be using this pork belly. And I typically don't go lower than 1 part of fat to 2 parts lean. So in kilograms today, I'll be using 3 kilos of venison and 1.5 kilos of fat scraps. And to round that into pounds, that'll be 6.5 pounds of venison to 2.5 pounds of belly and scraps. Ooh, yeah. Nice clean pork fat. Yum. Take a look at that beautiful piece of meat. That is some good, fresh, wild venison. And the first thing I'm going to do is to get this off the bone and cut into some nice chunks for the grinder. It's nice when I'm going to grind the whole thing. I don't even have to be careful about how I take this apart. I'm just going to knock off some of the thicker silver skin. And we'll cut this into some manageable chunks for the grinder. Now with the meat cut and weighed, I'm going to pop it into the freezer for a little while to get it to firm up for the grinder, and that'll give me some time to work up my spice bill. Now let's take a look at the spices that I'm going to be using for this bratwurst today, and once again I'm going to be leaning into those aromatic kind of festive flavors for this party sausage. But once you find a recipe that you kind of like, you can tune any of these up, take them down, you can add things in, take them out, really get freestyle on that thing and make something that is really special to you. For this sausage today, I'm going to be starting with 90 grams of plain salt, and that's about 1/3 of a cup. I've got 15 grams or 6 teaspoons of white peppercorns. This is 5 grams of marjoram, and in this flake form, that's 2 tablespoons, but if you've got already ground marjoram, that's probably going to be about 2 teaspoons. This is 5 grams of mace, that's about 1 tablespoon, and you could use mace or nutmeg or a combination of the two right here. I've got 3 grams or 2 teaspoons of ginger powder, and a scant gram of caraway seeds, and that's just about 1 teaspoon. And apart from these spices, there are a lot of other aromatics you could add in there. I like to sometimes add a little bit of star anise, maybe a tiny bit of cloves. Oh, what the heck, I'll just go ahead and throw those in there. That's not really enough to even register on the scale, but that might add just a hint of complexity to the flavor with this sausage. Lemon zest is a really great addition to this type of sausage, and I think I'll throw that in there too. And that is what I mean by playing freestyle with your sausage. Now I'll grind up my whole spices, mix them all together, and then we'll be ready to grind up some meat. Woo! That smells great. Now let's get our grind on, and 1 pass through the fine plate should be fine for this sausage. I think that's 1/8 inch or maybe 3 millimeter. And all my grinder parts have been in the freezer for hour, maybe 2. Let's get it on. Oh, look at all that beautiful meat. Now let's get some of our spices started here. How about that lemon zest? Just a little bit. And for binder today, I'm using eggs. I've got 3 whole eggs here. We'll just beat those around a little bit and get them in. And for my liquid, I'm going to put in 1 cup, which is a 200 milliliters of whole milk. I want to give this a good mixing. It's icy, icy cold. So get you some cotton liners, and that's going to help out with the pain. Unlike a smoked sausage, I'm not going to mix the heck out of this. With a smoked sausage, I'm trying to get a really tight bind and a dense sausage. So I mix and mix and mix to get some protein extraction. It'll actually change the consistency of the ground meat. But this one, I want to have kind of a more supple mouthfeel. So I'm just gonna mix it long enough to get all the binder and the spices nice and evenly distributed. And that's it. We'll be good to go, and we can stuff the sausage. And now, before I stuff this into casings, I'm gonna go fry up a little ball of this and check it for seasoning. Check out that bite. Oh yeah. Wow. I don't know. It's real good. I was thinking I might add extra seasoning just to make it extra bold, but boy, it is darn near perfect, so I think I'm going to keep it right there. Woo! I'm excited. Now I've got my stuffer here, and I'm using natural hog casings today, and these come packed in salt and need to be rinsed and soaked in cold water overnight, but those are ready to go. And I've got a couple of different horns here. Now I often use this horn that the casings just barely fit on, but I tend to overstuff the sausages, and that can lead to breakage and definitely a lot of difficulty when you go to form links. So I'm gonna use this smaller horn. The casings will go on really easily, and I think that'll give me a little more control when I'm cranking this one out as to how full the casing gets. And it looks like Corn Pop might even get some action today. And when you go to stuff this, get yourself a ball of your sausage mix and pack it down into a nice tight ball. Kind of want to smooth the outside. We're trying to reduce the amount of air that gets pushed into these sausages. And once you got a nice meatball, slam it down into your stuffer, and then give it a nice packing. Get those edges, and make sure you got no big air pockets, and then just repeat.
He shoots, he scores!
Woo! So now we're going to start cranking this, and I'm going to use this hand, and I'm really only using this to kind of guide that and keep it from just flying off of there. I'm not squeezing down really hard, just applying a very small amount of pressure. If I squeeze too hard, it's going to force too much of that mix into the casing, And then there's probably going to be some breakage, and it'll definitely be really hard to make any links. So let's see how we do here. Again, get it started. Well, there's going to be a little air burst. Hold on until it fills up, and then just kind of let her slide off of there. Now, let's form our links. So we'll form the first link, pinch it off wherever you like. Make that the size you want. Pinch that off. Spin that away from you. Now, come up. Essentially 2 spots. We're gonna make 2 links now. So there and there. Pinch that off. And that one will spin the opposite direction, so towards you. Again, come up 2 spots here. I'm just gonna kind of split the difference of this last one. And that one, again, spins away from you. And that's gonna help to keep these things from unraveling. And get that last little bit. How about that? Hey.
Yeah!
And now, let's see how we did. And I can tell you right off the bat, that is a really aromatic sausage. You can smell all those spices coming out of there. Ooh, and juicy. Check out that bite. Oh yeah. Now that is a flavorful sausage. That is not subtle at all. These are going to be served up at a big event, and I want my sausage to be on everyone's lips. So I punched up the spices just a bit, and it really worked out. That mix tasted great when I tested it before stuffing the casings, but after resting for a day in the casings, the spices have had time to sort of run around and spread their happiness all over the meat, and it's even better today. And that blend of spices works really well with the wild flavor of the venison. Of course, you can swap that venison out with beef or just about any wild game. Now, let me get some of that mustard, some of that rich Bavarian cream. Now that's a party sausage. So, the next time you're throwing a sausage party, roll out a barrel of kraut and let it all hang out and give this one a try, and I know you're gonna love it. Thanks for watching.